Mr. Chairman, Senator Shippey, if a woman is pregnant and claims she's had a miscarriage, how does the government determine whether it truly was a miscarriage or an abortion?
Senator Shippey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator Rutke, the scope and purpose of this legislation is to simply treat the preborn child equally to any other human being. It doesn't address how a doctor would go about determining whether or not a child is alive or whether it has been deceased already.
Mr. Chairman, a follow-up question. Mr. Chairman, Senator Shippey, then by that reasoning, if we're going to treat this preborn child, as you refer to it, as any other citizen, if there was a question as to whether a death was accidental or of natural causes or caused by somebody's act, the government, through the police force, would do an investigation, correct?
Senator Shippey.
Mr. Chairman, Senator Rudke, presumably that would be the process.
So, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Rudke.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator Shippey. So this bill would authorize the government, through its police investigatory powers, to investigate whether a woman's alleged miscarriage was actually an abortion.
Senator Shippey.
Mr. Chairman, Senator Rudke, I suppose that is possible.
Just one final question.
Senator Rudke.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator Shippey, is it your intention to require victims of rape and incest, even children as young as 12, to carry a pregnancy to term under this legislation?
Senator Shippey.
Mr. Chairman, and Senator Rudke, excuse me. The intent or goal of this legislation is to simply recognize and codify in law that the baby in the womb is equally human as you and I are, and deserves to have the same protections under the law that any born individual has. Does that answer your question?
That tells me that the intent of this legislation is to have even a 12-year-old girl who has been raped or is a victim of incest to carry that child to term.
Senator Shippey.
Thank you.
You're welcome to comment.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That isn't the intent of the legislation directly. It's simply to recognize the equal humanity. I recognize that in this fallen, broken world, the horrific natures of such things as rape happen. A baby conceived in rape is still a human being equal to you and me. And if the standard by which we judge these things is by whether or not that baby deserves to live or deserves to die, is our equal humanity and our right to life, that would be, in my opinion, that has to be the simple answer, that baby deserves equal protection and life as any other human being. Otherwise, we have no leg to stand on in any other cases.
Senator Taves.
Wow. Pretty powerful stuff there, folks. Pretty powerful stuff. That bill got printed, and so we'll get a chance to look it over. And, of course, we'll have Senator Shippey in to discuss further on that. But please, give me your comments on that. I mean, those are some powerful questions that Senator Ruckty had. They're not light. They're not to be taken lightly. But this is the fundamental question. And I thank God that this is the point where we are, at least in Idaho, where this is where the debate is, right? Is on these very minuscule 0.001% of cases of possible abortion, that we're not sitting here in Minnesota or California talking about infanticide, right? Like, thank God, God is working here in Idaho. So yeah, please leave us your comments. We'll throw them up on the screen. Also, the number is scrolling there at the bottom to call and leave us a voicemail. I'd love to hear your opinion on this matter. It's a very, very contentious situation, but we want to hear all voices and all arguments and all support in either direction.